Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the live stream. I don't even know if this is going to work very well because we are coming at you live from the hotel room on Hotel Room Internet. So we'll see how this goes. But welcome to the live stream, guys. I am in Ohio. I'm in Elise, Ohio, working in Grafton, Ohio with a guy that actually contacted me via YouTube, and I have been mucking out a ditch all day on a farmer's field. He's doing drain tile, so I have been running a little Doosan 140 all day long. It's been a good time, and I got home. I say home. I got back to the hotel with literally 30 minutes before I went live. So I wrapped up dinner about 5 minutes before I hit the go live button tonight. So that's why you didn't see the little icon pop up and the little fancy, intro and all that stuff. So, AP, how's it going? How are you this evening? Yeah, it's late at night over there in England. So, hey, Cox Landscaping. What's your name, by the way, Cox Landscaping? Because Cox Landscaping gets a little redundant to say over and over again. But what's going on, guys? Welcome to the first mobile live stream. And I appreciate you guys showing up. I was a little worried there for a minute when I saw no one was waiting. That was a little unusual, but at the same time, I didn't start my live stream 5 minutes early like I normally do. Minnesota Films, what's up? What's going on, guys? So, until the questions start rolling in, to kind of fill you guys in on what's been going on, Ryan, how are you, sir? Nathan. Okay, Nathan. What's going on? Richie, Steven, thanks for coming out, guys. So I apologize. And get myself together here. I apologize for the video quality. As you can see, I am in a hotel room. I've been running a Doosan 140 little excavator, and I am mucking out ditches on a huge farm, and that's what I've been doing all day long. So I've been down here for this is my second day. Yesterday we worked 13 hours. Today we worked 11 hours. Yeah, 11 hours. And we're planning on working. I'm here till Wednesday, and we'll be working full time till Wednesday. So just so you guys know, don't ever think that once you make it on YouTube that you don't have to work, because I made the poor choice of making a YouTube channel based around the trades, and therefore when I go anywhere, I end up working full, 12, 13-hour days. So I got that going for me, right? So, but yeah. Oh, okay, Nathan, I'm with you. I'm with you. So you sent me the email. Okay. So you were wanting to discuss tracking software. That's right. So let me see where we're at in the chat here. So we've got 15 of us in here. So if we've got any contractors in the chat, this is an area that I don't have any expertise in. But if we've got any business owners in the chat, Nathan with Cox Landscaping was wanting to know what software you guys use to track jobs. I'm assuming you're talking about hours spent actually on the job, like manpower, actual man hours, and then materials tracking possibly. So anyway, any of you guys who have any tips whatsoever that he could check out for tracking software, that would be super helpful. But I honestly don't have any experience with that, so I'm not going to be super helpful. But anyway, AP, yes, I believe it's a 14-ton machine. Yeah, should be. That's one of those things where in theory it should be. Like the nomenclature makes sense that it would be that, but then in reality it ends up being something different. But yeah, roughly a 14-ton machine. Steven, yes, I love the N-series dozers. The D6Ns were phenomenal finish grading machines. They were quick and responsive, but at the same time, the blade had just enough lag to it that you could do a really, really nice finish grade. So yes, absolutely. Nate, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate the compliment. I will continue to try to put out decent videos for you. I will try to keep them coming. BVF Fire. I know I asked your name last week and I can't remember it. Remind me of your name. It's good to see you, but I can't remember your name and I'm sorry. Dirt Brute, what's going on? Richie, yeah, you know, I'm always trying to hustle and make a buck, just like everybody else. I just put my stuff on camera, which I did capture some mistakes on the job yesterday. So I was digging a little deep. I thought, and I will reference this in my video, but I thought about deleting the footage and claiming that the GoPro died, but it wouldn't be honest. As we know, this channel is about me being honest about the industry, and part of that is the fact that experienced operators screw up. So we will leave that in there. Let's see here. So Manny, it kind of depends. So what I've been doing is if a guy wants me to come work with him, depending on the job, depending on what's going to be involved for me, obviously when there's can't even talk. When there's hotel stays involved, generally I'll try to work for 25 to 30 an hour. That way I can kind of cover myself and the hotel costs and make a little travel money. But at the same time, not bend the guy over the table that I'm working for. But at the same time, as Taylor will attest, I don't know if he's going to be on tonight or not. I do actually work while I'm on the job, so I am productive. I do spend some time filming, but I am productive on the job too. So it's not a total loss. Nick, what's going on, brother? AP, I am shocked at how much I like running that Doosan. That Doosan is surprising the snot out of me. It is super fast. It is super responsive. The controls are actually really, really light to the touch. So you'll probably see it in my videos when I post them. When I first got in that machine, I was jerky and jumpy in it because it is so sensitive. Excuse me. I'm drinking beer tonight, guys, because I'm on the road. So you're going to get some burps tonight, and I apologize, but it is what it is. Anyway, going back, the controls are super light, so I was really jerky when I got in it, and I wasn't the biggest fan at first. But now that I've kind of warmed up to it and I've gotten used to the sensitivity of the controls, I love this machine. It is a fast little machine. I would compare it to probably running like a CX-80, like a mid-size excavator with the speed that it runs. And once you kind of get those controls down, they're actually super accurate. I have two complaints with the machine. The first is, you'll see in the video, Taylor is the guy I'm working for down here. He's got it set up with a quick coupler, and then he's got a thumb on it. And the machine needs about an extra 1,000 pounds of counterweight to really handle that thumb. It's pretty, I wouldn't even say tippy, but it just needs a little more to hold you down. It gets a little bouncy when you start getting out there with the stick. So that's complaint number one. Complaint number two is me being a prissy operator. The radio is tucked down behind you, like back behind the seat, and you can't see the screen whatsoever. So it's got some buttons over on the little console that you can control the radio with, but at the same time, you can't see the screen, so unless you have your radio stations already plugged in, it's totally useless. So those are my two complaints. Other than that, I'm loving the Doosan. It's a great little machine. Nick, yes, 5-star all the way. This is the Hampton Inn in Elise, Ohio. So enjoy my luxurious king-size bed. Know that I am a taken man. So Nick, don't get too excited here, brother. You're not allowed in that bed. Brian, what's going on? Thanks for joining from Canada, buddy. Andy, Eduardo, thank you guys for pitching in on that. Like I said, I have no experience on software, so I appreciate you guys helping Nathan. Was it Nathan? Yes, Nathan. I remembered. Woohoo! All right, let's see here. Let me catch back up on the comments. I'm working on my wife's laptop. So this has got the tiniest little screen on it. So I'm having to scroll through the comments to get back to where I left off here. Keith. Yes, Keith. That is much easier to remember and pronounce. And that's right. You're in East Texas. I forgot about that. Up in Tyler area. Is that right? Yeah, no Pink Whitney tonight, Nick. So I actually, on my way back to the hotel tonight, so I literally stopped working at 6:20, drove back to the hotel, and I am in Ohio. Ohio has drive-through liquor stores. So I swung through, but this wasn't a full-blown liquor store. It was beer and wine. So I went and they had a create your own six pack. So I am drinking this particular brew is the Brew Kettle, which is a local brewery, and it is an Oktoberfest. And I must say, it is delightful. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. So, Dig Nation, what's happening? Thanks for joining in, brother. Give me some top tips for grading in a dozer. Steven, I will give you some top tips, and I will do it in video form. If you actually go back in my channel, probably 2 months, I have a top tricks video that you are more than welcome to. Outside of that, is there any particular top trick that you were looking for as far as like how to hold grade? Give me something to go off of there for what you want as a top trick, and I will do my best to help you out. Nick, I believe you are right, but I'm not positive on that. I think Doosan might be the same as a Daewoo, but I'm not sure. But I'm really impressed with the machine. Oh, excuse me. I warned you guys, the beer's going to hit. I've got a whole six pack in here, so. And I will say this is what I'm digging about the hotel setup. I might have to do something like this at home in the studio. But right here, yeah, that's the fridge with the beer. So I'm a fan of that setup. That's nice. Oh, so Dirt Brute, yeah, your buddy's got the Doosan's. So my experience with Doosan before running this machine was wheeled machines, and I hate wheeled excavators. They come in handy, but just overall, I'm not a fan of wheeled excavators. So I never really spent any real time in one. I've got about 20 hours in this machine, almost 20 hours in this machine now, and I'm really, really liking it. So I am a fan. I must say I am surprised, but I am a fan of the Doosan. Phil, did I already say this? I thought it in my head, but in case I didn't actually say it out loud, what's going on, Phil? This is my wife calling. She knows I have a live stream going on. Hang on. I'm going to tell her live on the internet that I am live on the internet. Hey, I'm in the middle of my live stream. You're actually live on the internet right now. That's all right. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, back to it, guys. Sorry. I haven't talked to her all day, and of course, she totally forgot I have the live stream tonight. So, Nick, you know you won in this bed. We all know you won in this bed. I mean, that's why you got me to drink Pink Whitney. If you were in the room, it wouldn't surprise me if you dropped a little pill in my Pink Whitney drink. We all know what's really going on here. So, Phil, I'm sorry, I didn't get to finish that thought. Phil from Australia, what's happening, brother? One of my favorite fans. I appreciate you coming out. Good to see you, man. Oh, let's see here. So, Brian, your question about running a loader with the scale. Let me see what I can do. I don't know how easily I can access one of those just because most of the time they're in a pit, and a pit is not really keen on me showing up and running one of their loaders. That gives me an idea, though. The pit where I got my gravel from, my aggregate video, I might be able to work something where we can maybe climb up on the cab and he can show it, and I'll just video him showing it. We'll see what happens. Let me put a pin on that, and I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm on the road, remind me about this question, because I guarantee you I'm going to forget because I'm on the road. I don't have anything to write it down with. So yes, keep on me with that one. AP, totally agree. Doosan is absolutely underrated, especially here in the States. Yeah, Nick. So I'm gonna be straight with you. There's two things Americans excel at. It's being fat and being alcoholics. So we will always find a way to shove food in our face faster and also get alcohol without actually having to exit the vehicle. So stay posted, because I'm sure as the future will reveal more ways that we can be more efficient with our gluttony and our alcoholism. So stay tuned. And I'm trying to think, Nick, if I have ever run a Hitachi, and I don't think I have. And with the amount of with the amount of, you know, pitching that you're doing for Hitachi, I'm starting to wonder if you're getting a little kickback every time you mention their name. I'm gonna have to come up there and see you at one point in time, and you can show me a Hitachi excavator, and whether I like it or not, I will give you a show of how awesome and impressive it is, like your Pink Whitney drink. I did something similar with your Pink Whitney drink, so dig. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be burping all night. That's side effect of beer. It is what it is. So so Steven, how to hold grade and not create divots. So the first thing is, if you are starting out, there is nothing wrong with throttling down the machine. So I don't know, I don't remember. Was it you that was asking about a D6N? Are you grading in a D6N? Because the type of dozer will determine how well you can slow it down. Because a D6N, you're stuck with the gearing. If you move up into like one of the newer machines, it's a hydrostat. I can't even find the question about the D6N now. Where was that? Yeah, so, okay, so you asked about the D6N. So, assuming you're in a D6N series, the one thing I will say is stay in first gear. Slow is better. So what you're going to find in a dozer, just generally speaking, is slower is faster. And it sounds ridiculous. That's a ridiculous phrase, but think about it. If you're tracking in third gear and you create a bunch of hoopties and it looks like crap when you're done and you have to go repeat it 3 or 4 times, versus had you stayed in first gear, kept the throttle a little low. I'm sorry, I can't talk tonight, guys. Kept the throttle a little low and knocked it out in 1 or 2 passes, you're actually faster than had you done it in third gear, zipping around, but repeating your work. So the number one tip I'm going to tell you for starting out in a dozer is just take it slow and go easy. And the second tip I'm going to give you, in all honesty, it's not what you're going to want to hear, but you're just going to suck in the beginning. And seat time is everything in a dozer. It's just going to take time. So the way I would recommend you start out is first gear, stay on your decelerator to where you're running about half throttle or so, and start just making nice passes. Just that's your goal, is to make nice even passes. And the way you can start is, if you have an area available to you that's already level, but you've got some piles beside it, only take about a quarter of a blade and focus on, instead of focusing on the side with your pile, focus on the side that is on the level ground, and see if you can keep that blade maintaining that level while you're pushing material. Air dozing doesn't really do anything, because the dirt actually changes the weight of the blade. It changes the way the machine rides. So you do need to have some dirt on your blade. But if you can take a quarter to a half blade width of the pile, work on maintaining that level grade and do it nice and slow. And then what you need to do is just slowly work on getting a little faster and a little faster and a little faster with time. And what's going to happen is, over the course of 2 or 3 days, you're going to get to where, okay, now you can bump up into second gear and you can do a halfway decent job. You're going to slowly get better and better. But, honestly, the best tip I can give you starting out is, it's just going to take a lot of seat time, and it's going to take a lot of sucking it up. All of us had to go through it. When I first got on a dozer, it was terrible. It was a motocross track, from the get-go. But I also have several thousand hours of seat time in a dozer now. That's the only reason I'm able to be accurate, is because I have so much time in the seat. So to summarize all of those, if I can give you one tip, it's be patient. That's my best dozer tip I can give you, is just be patient and don't be too hard on yourself. So, let's go back up here. Tyler worked on DoD site with Ranger here for you. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. So, yeah, that's Ranger Excavating. That's where I started cutting my teeth, which you obviously remembered. All right. So, AP's agreeing with Nick on the Hitachi. At some point, I will make a point to run a Hitachi, and I will come on the internet and I will rant and rave about it. So, only the excavator. So now Nick's starting to recant a little bit. This is making me a little nervous. James, what's going on, brother? How are things in the Great White North? Are you guys finally starting to warm up? I know that down here we're up in the 60s now. Freedom units, just fair warning, we're freedom units. We're not all baking down here, but yeah, we're up in the 60s. In fact, I've been out working in the field the last 2 days. I've had to take my sweatshirt off, so it's been a nice change. Brian, good question. Preferred track or wheeled skid steer? This is kind of, I'm going to cheat a little bit. It depends on the application. If I'm going to be primarily on asphalt or pavement, I absolutely prefer a wheeled machine. Yeah, they buck a little bit more, but at the same time, it's going to turn a lot easier. It's not going to tear up the machine as much. But outside of that, any other application, and sometimes including that application, like when you're running a mill, it's actually really handy to have that track machine because, first of all, the weight. Secondly, the rubber tires tend to get some bounce going when you're running a cold mill on it. So, overall, track machines, they're such great machines. If you've ran a later Deere excavator, you run Hitachi. Oh, I didn't realize that. So, I'm assuming that's only their big excavators, though, because the only Deeres I've run are the little, I don't even remember what the model is. It's their smaller zero swing machine. It's a full-size machine, but of the full-size machines, it's a smaller zero swing. And I was not a fan of that one, but I can't imagine that's off the Hitachi line. I bet Hitachi's building their bigger hose. Yes, Dirt Brute, 100%. In a geared machine, you're going to have to use your decelerator a lot more. The nice thing about the hydrostats is you can dial in your speed like exactly where you want it, and you can run full bore, which has its advantages because you're right at the power curve on the engine with full RPM, but you're still not going super fast. Versus with those D6Ns, you're really controlling the speed with the decelerator pedal. Yeah, James. Yeah, track skid pretty much all the way around. See, this is the problem with this little screen and this mouse is if I scroll at all, it shoots me way up in the comments, and then it looks like I shoot way down, and I have a hard time finding my spot. Ooh, Nick, so you guys removed the plows and the salter. Now, we're only in March, and I'm a Michigan boy now. Officially, I guess I am a Michigan boy. And I'm saying that's a bold move because every once in a while that April snowstorm hits, and that's a bold move to take all the plows and the salters off. Richie, 100%. It does most machines. It will just take seat time. I will say Dozer in particular is just one that takes a lot of seat time because of what you're doing. I talk about it over and over and over in my videos, developing that ass level. It just takes time, and that's one of the most critical things about running a dozer. There's two things that are super critical running a dozer. The first is your ass level. The second is knowing how to time your blade movements with what is coming up in front of you. And after you've run a dozer for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. You are on a lag. So if I raise my blade up on the dozer, there's like a half second of lag or so for you to track forward and then track on to the dirt where you've raised your blade up. And so any movement you do with the blade of the dozer, there is a lag where the machine follows those undulations. And yes, I'm driving like a race car here, and I know I look retarded, but that takes time to develop your feel for how much lag there is. And those, between that and the ass level, until you develop those, it's just going to suck, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be frustrating. And I think that's why dozers in all honesty, if I had to pick a machine that is the most difficult to run on the job, I think it would be the dozer. Pretty much any other machine, you can probably hop on it, including excavators, and within an hour, you're probably pretty proficient loading trucks. I'm not going to say you're going to be able to keep grade, setting storm pipe, or digging a basement, but you could at least proficiently load trucks and make the machine move and do what it's supposed to do. With a dozer, you're talking weeks before you're able to even somewhat keep a grade well and keeping a good pace. So North Side Cool Guy. First of all, that is quite the name. I'm digging it. Let's see here. Do heavy equipment operators frequently get asked to do heavy hauls or haul equipment with the dump trucks? So what I'll say there is, if you're working for a smaller company, um, like when I was working for the residential company, I had my own triaxle dump truck. I had a triaxle tag trailer, and that's what I hauled our 315 excavator around on, and my D5 dozer. And I was expected to haul the equipment. Now, as soon as you step up to even a mid-sized company, they have dedicated drivers because they're moving equipment all over the place from job to job to job. They need operators to keep the equipment moving on the job. Whew. So, so typically at a mid to large company, no, you're not going to be asked to drive equipment around. James, that's good to hear. Good to hear that winter is over. I'm sorry, I'm getting behind in the comments, but at the same time, I don't know how far behind on the comments because I have this tiny little screen. There we are. There we are. Do do do. Oh, so you guys are able to see some grass? Look at you guys. You guys are doing well up there in the Great White North. I think it was the 135G, Nick. That was the deer excavator I ran, was a 135G. What's up, little Finkel? What's happening? Thanks for joining. See, Nick, now you're gonna get slammed with one of those April storms, and and you're gonna have to rub it in your boss's face and hope he doesn't fire you. Yes, Justin, to confirm, it was a 135. No kidding. So, dang it. And in this little, oh, wait, where is it? BFD Fire, what was your name? Got it. And now I'm scrolling with this tiny screen to find the comment where you said your name. Son of. These are the struggles of being on the road, guys. This is like everyone thinks it's just all flowers and sunshine and rainbows and butterflies when you're on YouTube, but this is the struggle. Keith, found it. Now I gotta find where I'm at in the comments. So Keith says that the full excavator line is built by Hitachi. That's interesting. I had no idea. Very interesting. James, I do have a drink. So I was telling the guys earlier, I'm in Ohio, and Ohio has drive-through beer and wine stores. So I got a create your own 6-pack, and this is one of the local brews from around here. It's called the Brew Kettle. Doesn't say where they're from. Nope, that's the warning. Yeah, it doesn't say where exactly. I think it's from Lakeside or something. I'm down by the Cleveland area. If you guys aren't, I'm sure no one's familiar with Ohio because unless you live in Ohio, who the F cares about Ohio? I'm sorry if you live in Ohio, that was offensive. But really, so I'm in the Cleveland area. This is one of their local brews. It's an Oktoberfest, and it is really good, which is why I'm burping so much. So, yeah, Dirt Brute. Exactly. If you're on a smaller company, you're generally going to be just simply because there is a lack of manpower to have a dedicated low boy driver, and there's not enough equipment moving around to justify it. But once you get into a mid-sized company, you generally don't have to drive. AP, I do not have any external pictures up. If you go to my Instagram from today, I actually posted a little teaser from inside the cab where I was mucking out the ditch on that farmer in the farmer field. Good God, I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. In my defense, I worked a 13-hour day yesterday, an 11-hour day today, and I literally just got back. But whatever. I did post a teaser picture on Instagram of me digging, but tomorrow I'm going to try to take my good camera out and actually get some decent pictures of the machine. The bigger, more exciting machine that I have coming is a giant wheel trencher. And that is actually the big draw of why I came down here, was this wheel trencher that Taylor's got running. So I will try to get some pictures up for you. In fact, AP, stay posted tomorrow. I promise. And you can call me on this. You can shoot me an email or a message, and you can call me a liar and a filthy animal if I don't do it. But I promise I will get you an external outside shot of the Doosan tomorrow on Instagram. So I've made the promise. Now I have to commit and keep it up. I'm going to try. In my defense, Taylor has been working the snot out of me. I haven't had a ton of... Like, normally, as you guys know from my channel, I try to get out and get some really cool footage of the machines and different angles and unique shots. And I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity because I have literally just been mucking out. I have like I think it's just over a mile of ditch that has to be cleaned out, and I'm taking like 3 or 4 feet of material out of this ditch because it hasn't been maintained in probably 20 years. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So you guys get a sneak peek of videos coming up. Brian, thank you for not what to do that. So just so everyone knows what Brian is referencing, the what not to do in a loader is a collaboration I did with Heavy Metal Learning. It posted on Heavy Metal Learning's channel. I do appreciate that, brother. I really do. Wow, you guys started cutting grass already? Where are you at? Landscaping, was it Mike? Dang it. Gotta scroll back up. I gotta scroll back up to find the name. Nathan. I'm gonna try to remember. No promises, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, where are you at, Nathan? Because we have probably another 4-ish weeks before we start cutting grass. Yeah, Finkel, I'm totally with you, man. I'm a big fan of the microbrews. My brother-in-law is a Coors Light man. And, you know, I'm going to hate too hard, but you're paying for canned water with a slight pea taste to it. And so I generally like my beer to have flavor. And so, in fact, we can take a look at what I got tonight. Just pull these out here. And I'm taking the whole with me. Ooh, see, I like this setup. I love it that I can just lean back here. So this is actually a Michigan local Founders Brewing Company. And this is their Old Dirty Bastard, which is 8.5%. I mean, this is a serious... I've had this one before. It is a Scotch ale. And that sucker is stinking good. And then what else did she give me? This is a Danish Pilsner, which looked kind of good. And it is, like, let's compare cans here. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So I think we're gonna do this one next. And then I've got a couple IPAs because I personally like IPAs. So we've got White Raja India Pale Ale. This is from the Brew Kettle. Oh, so this is from the same place that's local. This is their IPA. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me. And then we have, what is this? Rheingeist India Pale Ale. I don't know where this one's from. No idea. I like how it takes the time to tell me it's an independent craft brew, but it doesn't take the time to tell me where the craft brew is from. Very helpful, guys. Very helpful. And then we have Jackie O's Mystic Mama West Coast Style IPA. And again, no indicator of where it's from. So, anyway, so that's what we got to choose from tonight. And I can tell you right now, this Founder's been sitting on the shelf for a while because it is covered in dust. So I'm going to throw these back in the cooler because they were hot when I got home. Back to the hotel. Home. I remember that. So anyway. Alright, I've missed a bunch of comments again. What do we do? What do we do? Tea gives you burp, James. Tea. That's a weird one. I've never had burps from tea. Brian, I do have a Facebook page, both personal and Diesel and Iron. Although I can just tell you I'm super lazy on social media, and so my Facebook is literally just my Instagram posts double posted over to Facebook. So, I'm outing myself as you should still follow me. I'm terrible at social media. I'm sorry, guys. I pour my heart and soul into the YouTube channel, into my video editing. I don't have time for all of this social media crap like TikTok, and I don't even have a TikTok because I'm that uncool. I I keep up on Instagram pretty well. In fact, that's where I've actually made a lot of connections with guys is on Instagram. And a lot of my contacts that I'm making, but yeah, Facebook is like I haven't really seen any benefits off of Facebook, and the amount of time it takes to do all the social media stuff is like so anyway. Oh, Keith, you switched it up. That's nice. I appreciate that. It's gonna help me remember your name. Oh, James, I didn't hurt your feelings, did I? I'm sorry. I will drink Coors with you. I'm not going to be a total snob. I will drink Coors with you and I will appreciate it, but it's not the same as a nice microbrew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, Nick, I totally. 100%. Back before I was a civilized gentleman, I drank Natty Light at house parties. Absolutely. And and we're all familiar with the I don't even remember the brand name of the vodka. What's the vodka that comes in the clear plastic bottle with the red label? You get a gallon at a time and you just like start chugging at house parties. I was uncultured. I was but swine, but I'm a man of culture now. I should be wearing a bow tie during this. So, oh, Justin, that's a good point. Yeah, I think Yanmar pretty much has the mini market covered. And it's because, from what I understand, from what I was told, they have a patent on multiple parts of the mini excavators. And so they pretty much just make all of them. Oh, so out of Tennessee, just outside of Knoxville. Knoxville. How far are you from Nashville? How far is beer? How far is Knoxville from Nashville? Oh, come on, just straighten the map out there. Oh, you're a good ways from Nashville. Okay, all right, I'm starting to get a lay of the land here. Oh, do you know what just happened here, ladies and gentlemen? If you notice, if you notice, Diesel and Iron has entered the chat, but I haven't actually typed anything, which tells me my wife has just logged in because she's also referencing our limoncello. So yes, hello, lovely wife. Um, yes, I do still drink the clear vodka, the nasty vodka, but in my defense, my wife actually makes a nice drink out of it. Somehow she infuses it with stuff. I don't know how she does it. She works magic with alcohol, and then I just have it presented to me in a nice cup with ice, and it looks lovely and tastes lovely. So, 2,000-gallon fuel tank is a lot of treatable tank with fuel additive, not stay mixed. I don't know, Little Finkel. That's a fantastic question that I don't have the answer to. Um, I mean, I would think so. I don't know. I don't know if those fuel additives would settle out or not. That's a good. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? My goodness, I'm Russian from Canada. Almost completed heavy metal. Edmonton, like to watch your video. I have no idea how to even pronounce that name, Mr. Sir from Russia, but from also Canada. I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate I keep looking over here because normally that's where my camera is. The camera is actually right here. It's a tiny little webcam. I'm sorry. I do appreciate the support. I really appreciate you guys subscribing, which, by the way, all of you guys, I've done this before and I will continue to do it. The channel is blowing up. It's going crazy. I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys subscribing and watching the videos and continuing to support the channel. This trip is very much possible because of you guys and the support that you guys are providing. So I do really, really appreciate you guys watching. So Mr. Russia from Canada, thank you. Ah, yeah, see, Nick, Heineken and Pink Whitney at a house party. But see, you're in that age group where, I as an old man with my bow tie, I actually like the more I'm thinking about it, I should wear a monocle and look like Mr. Peanut. Like that's who's judging you. So, you know, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just a cranky old man that likes his microbrews. So, James, quit trying to hit on my wife. Come on, man. Okay. All right, I'm gonna rag on you, AP. You've been in here long enough that we're buddies and I'm gonna rag on you. I only drink water. That is Mr. Peanut right there. If he only drinks water, that's the monocle. Like I should have the bow tie for drinking my craft brews, but I think the water drinker needs the monocle. Yeah, Dirt Brute. Pretty much any of those small engines um, are going to be Yanmar, and it's because Yanmar is one of the only ones that has those small diesel engines where they are performing under emission standards, and I think they just really cornered the market. No one can do it better, so they just buy Yanmar engines. But I don't know exactly all the details. So, Nick, that's where you just water. I think the reason your pee looks like rust is actually because you're not drinking enough water. But I'm not a doctor. You might want to up the water intake, and that will take care of that pee problem you got going on. Oh, I got you, Dollywood. Interesting. I didn't realize that. That's typical American. We have no idea about our own geography because that's, how lazy we are with stuff. Which, by the way, guys, Uh, I am going to call it an early night tonight. I'm not saying we're going to do it now, but I would like to wrap this up like around 9:30 or so. I cut it so close for the live stream, I didn't even have to have a chance to like offload the footage from today from my cameras, and that process is probably going to take me at least a half hour, 45 minutes. So we will be wrapping this up around 9:30. Just fair warning. So, Richie, absolutely, man. And by the way, as most of you guys know, and a ton of you have already done it, but feel free to shoot me an email. There's a reason I post that publicly. Don't ever feel like it's a bother to reach out and ask questions. That's why I have this channel. That's why I do this. So, yeah, I really appreciate you guys. You're cooler. So James goes with water during the day and canned water at night. There's your summary right there. Noel, that is a great question. I actually have been wanting to do a video on that. The reason I haven't yet is because, and this is something that I learned when I was selling equipment, in order to accurately measure the undercarriage of a dozer, you have to have a true measuring kit, which comes with like a ridiculous cartoonish set of calipers. Like I'm talking the old school calipers like you would see doctors use back in the 1800s. And they are that cheesy huge. But there's other measurement tools that come in those kits, and I'm not about to go spend however, I don't remember how much those kits are, but I'm not going to go spend that money to make a video. But I am going to try to get into contact with one of the cat used reps and see if they can't help me do one of those videos. If not, I have a fallback contact that might be able to help me down the road. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Yes, James. Yanmar. Kubota is the other big one for small engines. Small engines. That makes it sound like a lawnmower, but you know what I mean. Small diesel engines. Work and rugby. Man, you are full on British. Like rugby. I've never played rugby. Yeah, that's awesome. Yanmar Bakes. Okay, so Nick, I will 100% agree with you. On Bobcat makes the worst mini. Their E26 or 25, whatever it is. God, that is the worst machine I've ever run. Um, but Yanmar, as far as making the best mini, for the price, I will say that for the price, Yanmar makes the best one. You can get nicer minis that have a more polished cab, but they also cost 20 grand more than a Yanmar. So for the price, it is hard to beat a Yanmar. Misha. So thank you, Misha. I really appreciate the support. Translation of my 65,000 YouTube channel in English. Ah, okay. All right. So you feel free, Misha, by the way, feel free to post up if you got a YouTube channel. Feel free to throw the link in here and I will absolutely steer people towards you. Um, Keith, thanks for hanging out. I hope I caught you before you had to take off, but I do appreciate you hanging out. We'll keep at you. We'll keep at you. We'll talk at you next week when I am back in the studio, back at home, and I'm not in a hotel room. So have a good evening, sir. Oh, from Indonesia. Dude, so I will say this is a really cool thing to have so many people from different countries. So, LDR 82, Loader 82, whatever that stands for. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for attending the live Q&A. Otherwise, I would just be hanging out by myself. So, yeah, thanks for coming in. So, Misha, yeah, you've got a good fundamental foundation. Is that how you would say that? You've got a good foundation in equipment. So the biggest thing I'll say with any of those schools is obviously you've got some seat time, you've got some experience in the machines. Just make sure when you hit the job site, you don't overstep. You do still recognize that you are new to the industry and you've got a ton to learn. And you'll do great. Yeah, you'll do fine. So especially because you're subscribed to my channel. I mean, yeah, that's why we're here, right? Is to finish the education you're not getting in your classes. That's it. I'm I'm pretty arrogant, aren't I? Says the loser who's sitting in a hotel drinking beer by himself. What's the best way to teach a bro to run a track hoe if he already knows how to run a backhoe, ISO air, SAE controls? Uh, I mean, the best way to teach him, in all honesty, is stick him in the seat and let him fumble around with it. If the control pattern is the same, so here's Nate. By the way, this is answering Nate's question. I'm not sure if you're asking like how to teach him how to switch patterns, or if you're just teaching the same pattern in an excavator as opposed to a backhoe. So I will answer both, um, because both of them are pretty much the same answer, which is give them a wide open area where they're not going to screw anything up, and then just let them go to town and learn. I mean, it's going to take them, if you're talking about switching patterns, it's probably going to take them half a day or so to really make the brain flip. Once it flips, though, they're fine and they'll operate just as normal. If you're talking about moving from a backhoe to an excavator and just learning a new machine, again, I would say give them a wide open area and let them practice. But at the same time, if you can dig in a backhoe, an excavator is a backhoe, but 10 times easier because you can see the bucket the whole time and you don't have the stick and the boom in your way and you're not having to worry about how the machine is positioned and everything. So yeah, just give them a little seat time and they should be fine if you're just crossing over. Oh, Nick, I can imagine. That was me in my 20s hanging out with all my buddies. It was so much beer. I'd hate to see my liver outside of my body. It's just a shriveled, dried up prune at this point. When digging into a pile, Brian, so if it's really loose material, like if you're going into sand or pea stone or something like that, there's no problem going into a pile in second gear. But anytime you start to bog, you're going to want to drop it down in first. It's generally easier on the machine to go into the pile in first because you've got that torque and it's geared for it. So really, it's got to be pretty light material to stay in second. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to drop down to first gear to go into a pile of pea stone. You don't need to. It's not straining the machine. But the second you really start to strain that machine, you need to drop it down into first. So, oh, where did we go? I keep losing my spot in the comments. I hate that. Thank you for mentioning the friends. Oh yeah, so Loader, post your channel up. Let's see your channel. I'm down for following another YouTuber that's in the same industry. That's true, Nick. You don't really need luxury in a mini. Minis, even the luxurious ones, you're still in a cramped shoebox. It's just how nice is the interior of the shoebox. Yes, Keith. Is it Keith? No, Nathan. Cox Landscaping. It's Nathan, right? I'm going to remember. At some point, I'm going to remember. Yes, Kubota makes a really good mini. They are nice little machines. I don't have a ton of seat time in them, but when I was working for the equipment dealership, we sold Kubota out of our Indiana stores. So they would cycle through, and I always enjoyed the little bit of seat time I got in them. I always enjoyed running them. And I know everybody that's ever purchased one from us has just absolutely loved it. So yeah, they're nice little machines. So AP, you've played rugby. Yeah, we don't play that over here in the US. We're all about football. And when I say football, I don't mean football the way the rest of the world means football. I mean the way America has deemed we mean football. So that's the only thing we play over here. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah, see, Nick, Bobcat. Ugh, ugh. So I got two issues. The mini excavators are crap. Even their bigger ones that aren't as jerky and terrible as the little E26, they just don't have any power. Like they all lack balls. And then when it comes to their skid steer line, I think I've mentioned this before, but they are slowly becoming the Apple of the equipment industry. They're putting chips on their attachments so that their attachments will only work with Bobcat machines. That's cheesy, and it pisses me off that they do that. And so I don't support Bobcat. I'm sorry. That may burn a relationship in this industry, and sorry, that's really cheesy business in my opinion, to do that. So I'm not a fan of Bobcat. Do I Noel? No, I do not. So Noel asked if I ever perform any sort of bid work. I do not. My buddy Rick does. The guy I'm working for, Taylor, he owns his own company, so he does bid work. But no, unfortunately, that is one area of the industry that I have no experience in, and I don't want to speak to it because I don't want to give anyone wrong information. So, hey James, if you got a drink, brother, I'm not drinking alone. I will absolutely validate your excuse to drink. I'm right there with you. Um, Loader 82, come on over. I got a 6-pack. So yeah. So what is everybody else? Everyone sees what I'm drinking. What are you guys drinking? Let's post that up and let's talk about everybody else's drink. So Misha, that's really key. That is one of the only indicators that a school is worth anything is how much seat time you're getting. And the fact that you're getting 60% of your time in the seat tells me that you've got a program that's actually worth something. I know a lot of those schools spend most of their time in the classroom and then you get like 10 hours of seat time overall. That's not helpful at all in the slightest bit. So yeah, that sounds like a pretty good program. You know, Nick, these days pretty much every piece of equipment's got a pattern switcher, so I used to be super paranoid about that. Um my old company that I worked for, the residential company, I was on Deer Controls or SAE. And then when I went to the big companies as most big companies are, it's all ISO. And I was kind of worried about keeping up on my SAE control pattern just to have it, and I've never had to use it. So pretty much everything these days is coming with pattern changers. So I wouldn't worry too hard about it. What's a good dozer to match up with the ZX180 excavator? We would mainly be doing some terrace repair and grade work. No dozer experience, 1,000 hours. Brad. If it's a ZX180, I'm assuming I need to look that model up. Does anyone know offhand? I'm assuming that's like maybe a step up from a 160 class. This 180. See, normally I would share my screen with you guys, but I'm on a laptop and I can't do that. So you're just going to have to watch me look at the internet, because that's what we do. Yeah, so that, yeah, you're right there at that. So I would say, Brad, it depends on what you're doing. So if you're on a farm, you're probably going to be doing clearing tree lines and stuff like that, fence rows. I would probably pair it up with like a D5 size machine. You could get away with a D3. A D3 would be able to keep up. You know, you'd be pushing it, but it could keep up. But ideally, I think with what you guys are typically doing, it would make sense to probably step up to a D5. And that would be ideal for that. I mean, that would be running at a comfortable pace. You could keep up with anything that hoe's going to throw in its way. You could start pushing some of the bigger stuff that hoe is able to handle, as far as stumps and rocks and stuff like that. So, but you could step down to a D3. See, James, you guys and your deer controls. Everybody knows cat controls is where it's at, because it says cat, and cat is the best and greatest at everything, and they should be president of the country because it's cat. Funny side note. So my wife and I, when we started the YouTube channel, we sold my truck. We've been a single car family for the last year. And with the stimulus check that just came around, because we're Americans and we just love our free handouts, especially in our current climate, we finally went out and got me a little beater car, and I ordered some generic rubber floor mats for it because I'm a muddy mess all the time. And it turns out that it just so happened to be also one of the cheaper floor mats on Amazon. They are cat. Yes, I have cat floor mats in my little beater car. So I look like one of those guys when I show up to the job that's like a diehard cat guy, even though I'm not a diehard cat guy. But I have cat floor mats, goddammit. Oh, Finkel, you got steaks? You shouldn't have said that. Come on, man. Stuck in a hotel room. I ain't gonna get steak. Nate, I've already forgotten what your question was because I'm so far behind here in the comments. Was yours about bidding? I think yours was the big question. And absolutely, I will be the first to tell you when I don't know the answer to something, because I think it's a lot easier to say I don't know than to say the wrong thing and then have to apologize for it later. So, doom, 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 doom. Yes. Let's go here. Cox Landscaping. Nathan. Yeah, Cat 305s. Cat Minis are pretty good little machines. I don't know. The cabs are a little cramped on them in my opinion, but they have power. I mean, they're nice little machines. So AP's drinking water. Brian's drinking coffee. Good Lord. How can you drink coffee and then go to sleep? I can't do it. Ooh, 19,000 Canadian, Misha. Whew. Ooh. That's some coin, but at least you're getting seat time out of the deal. That's key. So, Misha, I have to ask, when did you come from Russia? So, how long have you lived in Canada, and what brought you to Canada, just out of curiosity? I'm catching up here, guys. I'm sorry, my little screen, I can only go so fast. Any tips on grading with the D6 beach project? Well, Eric, the first problem you have with keeping grade is the fact that you're on a beach, and you're working with sand. Sand is ridiculously hard to grade in because so anytime you're either dozing sand or you are trying to hold grade in an excavator with sand, it is a pain in the ass because it's just a super light material. So you might as well be air digging or trying to doze with the air. Um, so all I would say is just go slow. Just recognize that you're going to have to go slower in that situation just because of the material that you're in. You also have, under normal circumstances, as you doze, the material under the machine isn't going to move a tremendous amount. But with sand, obviously, that's not the case. So you've actually got another degree of motion moving the machine around that's going to have an impact on the blade. So, excuse me. Just go slow. Recognize you're going to have to go slower in that situation. That's about the best tip I can give you in sand. Mad Jack. Flavored beer. Okay. I think I've heard of Mad Jack, actually. I don't know. That rings a bell, but I don't know. Is that kind of one of those malted like drinks? It's high in alcohol, but kind of beer flavored. I don't know. You tell me what you got going on there, Nick. I'm not sure. Mmm. That's right, Dirt Brute, mud flap guy. Got to get those cat mud flaps, baby. I should put those on. It's a Ford Focus. My little beater is a Ford Focus. I had to put I had to put some cat mud flaps on my Ford Focus. That's right, AP. I didn't even check the case store to see if they made mud flaps. And you know what? If I did get them, I would probably send Nick a complimentary set of case floor mats for his vehicle because I know he also loves case so much. So Nate, I hope I did answer that question sufficiently for you. But yeah, the easiest way to learn is just put him in a pile where he can't bang into anything and just hammer it out and get your brain turned around. It'll happen. It just takes time. Eating fried rice with guac. That is quite the smattering of flavors you've got there, and you're like the Ewan of foods. That's a lot going on there. Fried rice with guacamole. I don't know if I could handle that one. James, that's right. I am a Case guy, but Case doesn't make floor mats. So, oh, Misha, so you're 54. Wow. So you're getting I guess I could call it a late start in the industry, but good for you for still going to school and wanting to get into the industry. That's awesome. I'm see now you guys are talking about my floor mats. I'm gonna have to take a picture when they come in. So maybe on Instagram. So keep an eye on Instagram over this next week because when I get back to the house on Wednesday night, my floor mats are gonna be waiting for me. I'll have to take a picture of them. Yeah, Nick, I don't know if my wife is still on here, but that's a legitimate concern that stops you from keeping grade. And is it really let's kind of dive into this a little bit. Is it the end of the world if you suck at keeping grade and you have to keep going over the same spot 15 times because you can't stop staring at the girls in bikinis? I, maybe make an excuse that you just keep screwing up for whatever reason. I just can't handle it. So, you know, there's always a silver lining to a situation. Oh, that's nice. So, Cape Cod, you're always on sand. I tell you what, you got some scenery up there, though. I need to come see you, but in the summer months when it's a little warmer. So, Nick is openly admitting that he's drinking children's drinks. Apple, come on, man. Nick, Nick, come on, man. Pink Whitney, and now you got Apple Mad Jack. Like when I say, actually, now that I say it all together, it sounds like you're eating a kid's box of cereal. Oh my gosh. And Phil's drinking air. Come on, Phil. Get you something in your hand. You need a beverage of some sort. Get a bottled water. Get a Monster. Official sponsor of the construction industry. Hey, James, thanks for hanging out, man. I hope I didn't miss you before you actually tuned out, but thanks for hanging out. Looking forward to the next video, brother. Yikes, Case. Come on, Nick. Man. Always gotta hate. Always gotta hate. Oh. AP, you know me. I'm out there like full decked out case gear, and then I bitch when it's not a case machine. That's what I do every time. Ask Taylor. I showed up and I was like, okay, where's my case hoe? I'm only running a case. See, Nathan, you just said UT, which for you means University of Tennessee. I'm from Austin, Texas originally. So that absolutely sent me down the wormhole of University of Texas there in Austin. Nick, what an ass. What an ass. That's right, Nick. There's a soft spot right behind the girls. That's exactly right. Hey, Misha, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. If you got any questions as you're going through the school, by all means, feel free to shoot me a message. Ask for video topics. Obviously, you've got the live stream here at your disposal. If there's anything we can help you out with, any of the guys here in the live stream would be more than happy to help you out. So feel free to ask away. So, oh my gosh, did I actually catch up to the comments? Am I caught up so I'm not having to scroll up and down? Oh, ow. All right. But now the unfortunate part about that is I have nothing to talk about other than the fact that I'm sitting here drinking a beer alone in a hotel room so that I can turn around and go work a crazy amount of hours tomorrow. Which, by the way, let's talk about that for a minute. AP, get out of here with that British garbage. Good Lord. JCB, come on, AP. I'm so upset. I have to switch subjects now. So the job that we're doing, we're doing a bunch of drain tile in a farmer's field. We spent yesterday putting in, I don't remember how many feet, probably 1,500 to 2,000 feet yesterday. And then I moved over and knocked a couple trees down with the excavator. Unfortunately, I didn't have any outside views of that, so I've only got in-cab footage. But then we went to doing ditch work, and that's what I've been doing all day today. I believe tomorrow is Monday. Yes, tomorrow's Monday, so we've got 8-inch pipe coming. We've got a field that literally has a lake in the middle of it, and we are going to trench this 8-inch in and take it right up to the lake and then just unleash it. So I'm hoping to get some good footage of that. Oh, Lord. Whew. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, Misha, you're going to be graduated April 1st. That's just in time for work season, my friend. That'll be good. Oh, couldn't pay my dues as a landscaper. Not enough stamina to do sod jobs. Oh, I hear that. Whew. Gale. Now that's actually Gale, however you pronounce it. That's actually a brand we haven't talked about in these live streams, and it actually surprises me now that I think about it. So the keyless start is far better in their new B Series skids. I 100% agree. Everybody agreed. The Alpha Series skids was awful. I hated their button system. On the new ones, you have a button that's about this big around. That is your start button. So it is far easier than in the old models. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. I did my landscaping days down in Central Texas, and that was similar conditions. I was out trying to, my wife and I built a 300-foot long retaining wall out of stone. And it was supposed to look dry stacked, so we actually built the wall out of cinder block, and then we cemented the stone to the front of that to make it look dry stacked. It's 300-foot long winding retaining wall. Then we backfilled. We did all of the sod ourselves. We did a sprinkler system, and then we actually landscaped, and actually put in all of the plants and everything, all in Central Texas summer. Miserable work. I totally hear you. Eric, thank you for watching my videos. I can put out all the advice in the world, but unless someone watches them, it does me no good or anybody else. So I really appreciate you watching the videos. I appreciate you enjoying the content. And if there's anything you would like to see on the channel, by all means, let me know, and I'll do my best to get something out for you. So yeah, AP, I know every time you throw JCB out there, I got to turn around and give you some crap for it. See, I've never actually been in a JCB. So now, I am going to say this. When I was selling equipment, I was trying to get a municipality to buy my machine. Case 580 backhoe. It's like the staple of the industry. Everybody knows Case for their backhoes. Like the 580 is the machine. I was right there. Was in the door. I took it out. I demoed the machine. They loved it. And then, for whatever ungodly, unreasonable reason, they decided to demo a JCB. And the guys liked the JCB over the Case, even though it was a JCB. And I lost the freaking bid to a JCB. And so, AP, that's part of why I hate JCB so much, is because I knew it was a garbage machine. I knew they were buying a garbage machine, and they did it anyway. And they didn't buy my Case, and that hurt my feelings. So now I have a personal chip on my shoulder about JCB, and it's upsetting. Nick, I'm with you. All of the buttons on the Deere machines, the first time I encountered one of those keypads on a Deere, it was on their 750 Dozer. I think the K series is when they started putting those in. Don't quote me on that. I hated, and I still to this day hate the freaking keypads on those things. It's not intuitive. The buttons aren't, I don't know. I don't know how you would distinguish them more, but to me, you look up there and it's just this giant block of buttons and everything looks the same. I've not been a fan of their keypad system. So Bacon with a Z. I'm just going to call you. Yeah, I'm just going to call you Bacon with a Z because I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But yes, that's what a lot of people don't like about the Case Alpha series is it was super twitchy. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like to have a little play in the controls that allows you to do some more fine tuning stuff. But that's me personally. But yeah, Texas is tough. But yes, 85 degrees in Wisconsin is like a giant heat wave for you guys. So AP, I'm gonna try my best. I'm going to try my best. In fact, I'm gonna right here. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna set a reminder for myself tomorrow. Set an alarm for 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. There it is. All right, AP. Alarm is set. So when this goes off at 10:30 tomorrow, my time, I will get out of my machine and I will take a picture of the Doosan. I will try to get you a very nice background. I will try to make it very photogenic just for you, buddy. Yeah. I will say this, AP, if you go to the trouble to send me a JCB hat, I will absolutely wear it during a live stream. I will do that for you, brother. Even though I have this hatred of JCB, I will absolutely wear that hat for you during a live stream. Ah. Oh, it's nice being caught up. Like This is the first time I feel like I've been able to breathe all day. It's kind of nice being caught up in the comments here. We've only got 13 of us on. It's a little light tonight. Wonder why that is. Oh well. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? Because I'm okay wrapping this up here in the next 15 minutes. If it's going to be slow, I'm totally good with that because I still have to download footage. I still got to take a shower. I still got to prep my lunch for tomorrow. Like, there's a lot left to do tonight because I have to actually work and hold a job tomorrow. So, AP, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You can try. You can send me the swag, and I'll wear the swag. It's not going to happen. Now, if I come over to Britain and I spend a day with you one day, I will run your JCB equipment. And because I am in Britain, it will probably be better. But the American JCB is not good. It's not. Sorry. Yeah, Nick, Bobcat. Bobcat. It's offensive. It's offensive. So I'll tell you my Bobcat story. When I was selling equipment. So everyone in the world knows that if you have a skid steer attachment, it will go on any skid steer, right? So I get involved with this company. It's an asphalt company. It's a small asphalt company. They've got 12-ish employees maybe. I can't remember exactly. Get to know the whole crew really well. And it turns out the owner of the company, her husband, I can't remember if it was her husband or her dad, originally owned the company, and they passed away, and then she inherited the company, whether it was from her husband or from her dad. And so she was running the company, and it was a really cool situation because first of all, she was super nice, but all of her employees kind of stepped up, and when it came to equipment purchases and stuff that she didn't really know about, the guys stepped up and would help her with that decision. And I loved the dynamic of the company because it wasn't them taking advantage of her and getting the cat's ass bells and whistles machine. Like, they legitimately were helping her buy a machine for the company. And so I got involved with this company and I convinced them to buy my TV 450 skid steer because it was a good machine. It was a good fit. We were geared to really support them well because they were 2 minutes down the road from the shop. So one of the questions she asked me was, will my cold planer hook up to your machine? To which I said, absolutely, because yes, any skid steer attachment works with any skid steer. So we sign off. This is an $80,000 machine. We sign the deal. We deliver the machine, and I get a call 3 days later from the crew saying the cold planer won't work with the case. And I said, why? And they said, they don't know, but it's it won't even recognize it. So I sent a tech out there. That's when I found out that Bobcat had started chipping their attachments so they won't work with anyone else's machines. Now it looks like I'm the asshole salesman that took advantage of the female business owner so that I could get my machine in there. It turned into this huge ordeal. Turns out we had to spend $400 on a harness where you completely rewire around this, whatever this control module is. And, hey, there's Taylor. What's up, Taylor? Yeah, Taylor's working the snot out of me. And I told him I had to be done by 6, and I didn't get out of there until 6:20 because Taylor is a workaholic. I said it out loud, Taylor. I'm sorry. You're a workaholic. I'm sure your wife is probably, if she's looking over your shoulder and listening, she's probably agreeing with me, isn't she? But anyway, going back to the story. So it took a $400 wiring harness to get around this stupid chip. But once you do that, now the attachment won't talk to the Bobcat. And so they kept their original machine because they were going to have 2 skids instead of 1. Now the attachment only works with one of the 2 machines. If you want to get it to work with the Bobcat, you have to take that whole harness off. It's like a 15-minute ordeal. So that is, again, that made me look like a total asshole because it made it look like I was totally taking advantage of that lady. And that is not at all what happened. And come to find out, it's because Bobcat wants you to buy their attachments for their machines, and they don't want to play nice with anybody else. They want to be the Apple of the construction industry. just angers me that they would do that. So anyway, Bacon with a Z, I appreciate you finding the channel. I appreciate you subscribing, and especially I appreciate you hanging out on the night when you don't have to be hanging out. So, excuse me, pardon me. Whew. All right. So yeah, I appreciate the support, man. See you. Nathan, yes, that's kind of everybody. That's kind of the knee-jerk reaction, is to get really busy on the blade and try to compensate, but you haven't learned the timing. Hey Nick, thanks for hanging out, man. It was good to see you. We'll see you next week. Better, hopefully in better lighting. So by the way, I had to rearrange my room. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I actually had to rearrange the room to get the lighting to work. So this light right here used to be at the entrance, but because I'm kind of a little bit anal about all of this, I actually moved that over here. I was rearranging bits of the room. I had to adjust the blinds so that the light was coming in right. So everyone, like I said this afternoon, Taylor, everyone thinks being a YouTube star is just all butterflies and rainbows. And I mean, look at all the things I have to suffer through, like moving lights around a hotel so that I could just have good lighting. So I got distracted, damn it. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Yes, Nathan, the hoopties. That's kind of everyone's reaction when you're on a dozer for the first time, is your knee jerk is, I'm diving, pull way back, and then I'm going to the sky, push all the way forward. And then you just do that over and over. Like I said earlier, Dozer is one of the hardest machines to learn, and it just takes hours and hours and hours of seat time and patience. So, AP, you got a Hitachi hat, so you ought to send that to Nick and see if maybe he has a JCB hat laying around, and you guys can trade, and that way everyone will be happy. Eric, great question. Having a CDL in the industry, it can help you. I would say it will never hinder you, obviously. If you're going to work for a small company, it will absolutely help you, because most small companies will haul their own equipment around instead of hiring it out or having a dedicated lowboy driver. So I got into the industry, actually had my employer sponsor me to get my CDL, so I got to use the company's truck. I didn't have to pay for a school or anything. So yes, it will help in some circumstances. I will say, especially if you start going to like mid-sized companies and you have a CDL, don't necessarily lead with that, because what can often happen, CDL drivers are in short supply, just like operators. And so if it comes out that you have a CDL, there's a decent chance you may find yourself behind the seat of a truck. And that is where you exist, because you had a CDL. So just kind of keep it under wraps unless someone absolutely needs you to have one, or if it comes out, hey, we're going to need you to get your CDL, that's when you can go, oh, I have a CDL, by the way. But I wouldn't lead with that with anything over a small size company. AP Case is up there with Doosan as far as being totally underrated. They're good machines. Now I will say this about Case excavators: they're really nice excavators, but Case is proud of them. In my opinion, I think they're a little overpriced, especially when you can get a JCB that's got more features and more functionality, and you can get about 15 grand cheaper on one, depending on the size of machine. So, that's just me. But they do make really, really nice equipment. Their excavators, their dozers especially, that's my favorite out of the Case lineup, is their dozers. They make great dozers. And then their loaders, outside of that little issue of needing more counterweight, but that's just me. Justin, yes, I think I just answered that accidentally. Yes, Case dozers will outpush a cat. Absolutely. I love Case dozers, especially when you start getting into like the 1150, the 1650, 2050. Like, those dozers are absolute tanks. They're balanced really well. They have a ton of power. They're just really, really solid machines. And why I like them so much is they are almost exactly like running the K series cat dozers, with the exception that the hydraulics are slowed down to the point that you can be nice and smooth on them. So they've got the power, they've got the balance, they've got the hydrostatic transmission, so you can dial in your speed, but you don't have the ridiculously jittery blade that you do on like the D6K. Like, they're just nice, smooth pushing machines. I love case dozers. So, AP 100%. Like, just being able to reach back there, just yeah, I think I'll grab another beer. Like, that's so convenient. I didn't realize it. Like, now I'm spoiled and I'm going to get home and it's just going to be bitter disappointment. I'm going to have to go back to having my drink right off camera here on the table, not being ice cold. And that's it's like it's like living. I'm not even going to say it. That would be really offensive. So, never mind. I'm spoiled. Yeah, bacon. Exactly. The second you reveal you have a CDL, this industry has a way of sucking the life out of you, because they'll just put you in a truck and they're like, no, 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 it's just temporary. We promise it's just temporary. And then 3 years go by and you're still driving the truck and you're known as the low boy guy. So you just got to be careful, but it's never going to hurt you to get a CDL. Case, Link Belt, Sumitomo, Hyundai, all the same. Is that still true, Noah? Because I was under the impression that Case and Link Belt had split back in the day. I know they used to be the same, all built by Sumitomo, right? Is that right? Maybe I'm getting all the wires crossed, but I don't think that's the case still. I could be wrong. There's a very strong possibility I'm wrong. All right, guys, we're going to give this about 4 more minutes, and then I'm shutting her down because I have to work tomorrow. Because Taylor works the dog snot out of me. That's the unfortunate thing about coming to see Taylor. I like Taylor. He's a good guy. But he also works the dog snot out of me. So that's what it is, AP. Everyone hears JCB, and if you're outside of Britain, everyone like sticks their head in the sand and tries to get away because everyone recognizes that JCB is junk equipment. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. That's very offensive. I try not to be so offensive, but it slips out. So how old are you, Bacon? With a Z? And then what are you wanting to do in the industry? Just out of curiosity. And you have to answer this in 2 minutes. I know I just put you on the spot. Time's ticking. Type, type, type. And the best part is, after I say this, it's like 20 seconds before you see it. So of our 2 minutes, you actually only have a minute and 40 seconds left before we shut this bitch down. AP, you're never gonna convince me. You're never gonna convince me, brother. Yeah, so the Gels were actually the same as the oh Lord, there it is. Mustang. I don't know if you're familiar with the old Mustang brand, but those were Takahachis rebranded. So they were all the same. Ooh, mining. That would be a fun one. I believe mining is a little difficult to get into. I think that's kind of like up there with quarries and stuff like that, where it's kind of a coveted job because it's once you're in, you're in. You don't really get fired unless you totally botched something and they've got good retirement and everything. So, but that being said, like, awesome. That would be awesome. And you need to get me a mine tour when you get that job. So, AP, keep dreaming, buddy. Keep dreaming. Like maybe one day you will convince me to run a JCB. And that is as far as we will get. Because about 20 minutes into running, it will break down. Oh, I said it. I said it. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I appreciate you hanging out. But I have to work tomorrow. And I have to download all my footage and everything. So we are going to wrap this baby up. Next week, I will be live back at home in the studio. And we will officially do this again. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry to cut it short tonight. But I have to sleep too. So you guys have a great evening. And we'll catch you guys next time.